it's that time of the season where we go through these kind of videos, where we pretty much review the season in a million different ways. And to start off, we're doing this worst team of the season. I've got it up in front of me of my reasoning. I forgot to write down the honourable mentions. But we're doing worst team of the season because everyone else is probably going to do team of the season, and I thought I'd be different and stand out. And I can't be asked to do team of the season. Actually, fun fact, I actually tried to do one last year, but I based team of the season off consistent performances overall, and I struggled with 11 players from last season. So this season, we're just going to do the worst players, and I think some of these are due to expectation, but when I mean worst, there's not many. There's two players that play for Big Six. No, three players that play for Big Six teams in this list, and the others I've gone from the bottom of the barrel. So let's just get into it, man. In goal, Illan Meslier. I could have gone with Danny Ward. I could have gone with Hugo Lloris. I know David De Gea has made mistakes. He's won Golden Glove. It's also big because of the defence. Because initially it was Shaw, Martinez, Varane, and Dalot when they were consistent together. Apart from obviously that Liverpool game, and did they all play the City? I think they all played the City game. I could be wrong. But then again, Casemiro didn't play that City game. But whatever, innit? But yeah. Illan Meslier, man. I could have gone with Danny Ward. Danny Ward was the one that started. I had hope for Illan Meslier, man. There was times where I was like, yeah, young goalkeeper, come on, I'll give you a chance, whatever. But the Liverpool 6-1, the Palace 5-1, the Bournemouth game, especially under the Javi Gracia part of the season for Leeds United, Illan Meslier was letting in goal after goal after goal. It was just, his hand was bending backwards. If any club is looking to buy him, you are fucked. The guy's distribution's not even all that. It's not all that. And I gave him a chance. But, yeah, I've changed my mind on him, man. This guy is so bad, man. And he is a big reason why Leeds are gone. And there's a reason why Sam Allardyce came in and put Joel Robles in goal. When you're getting benched for Joel Robles, who isn't bad, but isn't like the greatest keeper in the world, is he? Like, you're not getting benched for someone that's actually like a great keeper. Illan Meslier, no. Sticking with the Leeds theme, right back, Luke Ayling. Now, I was tempted to put Ben Johnson in there, but the reason why I'm putting Luke Ayling is because he's played more games. Ben Johnson hasn't played many games, but he hasn't had a good game this season. But that'll be on another video. The video that you're seeing after this video, that's on the next day, which will be the West Ham player ratings of the season. And yeah, we'll get into that another time. But Luke Ayling, I'm trying to think of other bad right backs this season. Azpilicueta has been really old. I can't really think of many off the top of my head. I had stuff written down on honourable mentions, but listen, Luke Ayling, man, he's just rash. He's just rash. Conceding penalties, getting beat 1v1 all the time. It's easy to get past him. And Bielsa squeezed the utmost juice out of him. And he couldn't do any more. I don't know what more Bielsa could have done, like, to improve Luke Ayling. And when you got a grown head on your shoulders, you're meant to be experienced. Maybe not in the Premier League necessarily, but just in football. You're not cut out for this level, and you've got to look at the Leeds board and look like the Harrisons, the Aylings, the Phillips. Like, I know he's gone, but the Bamfords, the Dallases, the Coopers, the guys that were there when they got promoted. You did not invest correctly to get the old crop out. Now, you got to keep some of the old crop. Look at Brentford. They've got some of the old crop. They've got Pinnock. They've got Henry. They've got Tony. They've got Mbumo. They've got Norgard. They've got Jensen. They've got De Silva. Like, but they're good. But it's just different. Like, they're just a more like team that's been more. There's more cohesion in that team, and they've stuck with the same manager. And they know the same philosophy. Blah blah blah. When you get these players in a different philosophy, in a more defensive philosophy, and Bielsa's not there, this is what the players look like. Calvin Phillips, by the way, will not perform good at another team because it was Bielsa that was squeezing the juice out of him. Calvin Phillips is not as good as people think. Moving on, but Luke Ayling is fucking awful. Now, this centre-back deserves more criticism. Daniel Amati, you have blood on your hands, my friend. You have blood on your hands. Every time, especially in the early days of Rodgers, this season, every time I watch Daniel Amati, this guy's not composed on the ball. He doesn't know how to concentrate. He's just flopping all over the place. You can tell how much they've missed like a Johnny Evans in this team. Because he's old and he's always injured. And again, bad finances, not allowing yourself to spend money to improve your team. You bought Fies, you bought Suter, but it was too late. It was too late. I don't know how Suter didn't get more games over Amati. And I know Amati's been phased out past couple of months, but Daniel Amati's awful. And don't get me wrong, I could have said Robin Cook, I could have said Pascal Struck, I could have said Eric Dyer, I could have said Koulibaly, but it's his first season. When it comes to new signings, by the way, guys, I have got 3 new signings, and I'll explain in what I've got, who I've got in the team. I'm trying to think of other bad centre backs, but yeah, that's off the top of my head. Even Michael Keane, Mason Holgate, these are not good players. Max Kilman hasn't had a great season. Off the top of my head, yeah, that's what I can think of. But yeah, Daniel Amati, you're fucking awful. You shouldn't be called up for the Ghanaian team. You shouldn't ever play in the Prem. You're not gonna. You would not be good enough to play, and he's gonna have to stay in the Championship or find a move that's in a shit league abroad. Moving on. Southampton. It's very hard to pick a standout player from Southampton that was shit. They were just a shit team. El Yunusi could have been in there. I've only got one Southampton player, and it's a player that wasn't even at Southampton at the start. Bednarek. You've had a howler of a season. The reason why you went on loan to Aston Villa to get more game time and you didn't get played. You could have come to. He was actually so close to coming to West Ham, and I'm so glad we didn't get him because it was going to be Dawson to Wolves, and then Dendoncker to Villa, then Bednarek to us, and then Bednarek to us. But Dendoncker went to Villa anyway. Then Bednarek went to Villa, and yeah, whatever. It went into a spiral of fucking centre backs. And I'm glad we didn't get him. This man is error prone. He got recalled from his loan in a January move, and did this whole speech about trying to keep Southampton up. And you've completely every time you've played, you've been shit. And that goes the same for the likes of Leanco as well. Leanco, you were not good either. And yeah, you're responsible for keeping Southampton down. I don't know how this man was not sold. I guess he'll be sold now. But yeah, this man does not deserve to play the Premier League. At left back, oh my god, this guy has been shit. Cucurella. The fact that Man City didn't go all out for him was probably, like, I would say a relief, for maybe. But Cucurella could have done well for Man City, but things happened for a reason. And it ended up being a good move, not going to Manchester City. Chelsea paid a lot of money for him. He's already had a season in the Premier League. Even Potter came in, and he knows Cucurella. Whether it's in the left of a 3, at wing back, in the back 4, you have not played well. You have been beaten 1v1 all the time. Your only good games were in the Champions League. And no concentration, no defending, even shit in possession. And that's meant to be his main quality. And don't get me wrong, Chelsea have been a shit show. But this is actually the only Chelsea player that's there. I could have said a lot of Chelsea players. But there have been worse players in each position, believe it or not. But Cucurella, yeah, you've been awful. Centre midfield. 3 in midfield. as usual, 4-3-3, all of that. I should have mentioned that at the start. We've got a West Ham player. And don't get me wrong, we've had bad players this season. I could have gone with Aaron Cresswell at left back. I could have gone with Johnson, as I said earlier. I could have gone with... Yeah, that's probably it. As the standout individuals, but there's been one more. Thomas Souček. You have to be in there. Awful in possession. He even got booed off the pitch against Palace and Leicester. The 2 home games before the World Cup. Got booed off. You got to have more to your game than goals and tackles. And I understand his abilities. We'll talk more about him on tomorrow's video. On his player rating for the season. But you are good defensively. But when we try and play football, we can't play football. And any midfielder that's mobile comes up against him and targets him. I've seen Curtis Jones target him. I've seen Erdegaard target him. I've seen Willock and Joe Linton target him. Man. It's the low block games that suit Thomas Souček. And when you open up as a team, he's just lost it. But yeah, that's Thomas Souček for you. He has to be in there. He's been awful all season. When it comes to shit midfielders, honourable mentions, by the way. Mason Mount, Kovacic. Mainly Kovacic, less so Mason Mount. We'll see what happens with him at the end of the season. Shit midfielders for the season. Weston McKennie, that was a shit loan, but I can't put him for the whole season. I'm trying to think. Southampton had Lavia Ward-Prowse, so probably not them. But who else got? Yeah, Leicester. Yeah, maybe Tielemans. Maybe Tielemans and Ndidi this year. Haven't been great. Maybe even João Moutinho. I haven't been impressed. I haven't been impressed this year. But listen, let's get on to the second midfielder. And this is more of expectation and the fall off. Don't get me wrong, this man's been great for his club, Fabinho. The reason why I'm putting Fabinho there is because the drop off that we've seen as years gone by, it's not like you're 34. It's not like you're 36. I think he's 31 or 32. I could be wrong. He might even be 30. It's around that. As a midfielder, you should still be able to play at a higher level. Maybe it's gone stale. Maybe it's a lack of energy anymore for how much energy goes into Liverpool's style of play. But I think if Liverpool are getting midfielders, the DM position has to be there as well. Like, in my opinion, if Liverpool want to compete for the league again. And yeah, I don't think Fabinho has been good enough. The game that stood out to me was Palace at home when they drew 1-1. And before their goal, Eze just skipped part. Listen, there's Ebere Eze. Ebere Eze is class. Probably my favourite player outside of West Ham in the Premier League. Him and Evan Ferguson have been my favourite players. No, Evan Ferguson more so this year. And Eze since he's moved to Palace. And even at QPR, watched a bit of him, wanted him at West Ham, didn't come to us. But he skipped past Fabinho. He's not mobile enough, and he would have had more cover in better Liverpool sides. And I know he's not been as bad as he was in the first half of the season, but I have to put him there. I have to put him there for the drop-off and for expectation if I'm going off that. And speaking of drop-off and expectation, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is someone I rate at Tottenham. Even as a West Ham fan, I actually rate him. But this season, you've been awful, man. Awful. And I don't think it helps when you play the system of a 5-4-1, a 5-2-3, whatever. And it's and the creativity doesn't come from your midfielders, but it's constant sideways. It's constant losing the ball. It's constant giving away the ball. Again, not mobile enough to actually stop people. And not enough cover for your defenders, despite your defenders being fucking awful behind you. When you play him with Bentancur's the one shining out. When you play him with Bissouma's the one shining out. Even Oliver Skipp and Pape Maté Sarr have outshined this guy this season. This guy has been Tottenham's worst midfielder. And that's bad. And we're going off kids here. Oliver Skipp is okay at best. He's okay. Pape Mate Sarr, we are yet to see what he can fully do. But this guy was never really part of Tottenham's plans. And he was still better than Højbjerg. Bentancur was way better than Højbjerg. He actually had a good season. And Basuma's a good player, but hasn't settled in. But I'm not going to put Basuma for this. Because he's also been injured. But Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, man. Very disappointing. I think ever since he signed, he's actually been decent. Mourinho signed him. That's a Mourinho player if I've seen one. Just a rock in midfield. And I respect that. But at the end of the day, it's, again, as I said, for Fabinho, it's about expectation and all that. And I just think he's giving the ball away too much as a midfielder. And I think that's the same reason why Fabinho and Souček are kind of there. It's like, it's errors. Like, these three midfielders that are put in the worst team has been purely errors for me. But yeah, we're going to move in front of midfield. It's now time to get into the front three. And the wingers, by the way, are two players that don't play. I have a big explanation for this. Right wing, Ryan Fraser. You're not even in the Scotland squad anymore, Ryan. And you got your old gaffer back. You said that it was just the media that were talking about fallout when you were both at Bournemouth. If people do your research, it wasn't just the media. This guy fucked himself. He was talking more about a move to Arsenal when he was at Bournemouth. I got distracted, fell off. Your gaffer comes in. You actually start off a few of the games of the season. I think he played against Bournemouth. Even when Eddie Howe first came in, you actually started a few games. You played against that Everton game at home, Frank Lampard's first game. I think he even scored in that game last season. And you fucked up an opportunity. He sends you to the under-21s. You're going to be sold this summer. If not, then you're just going to train with the under-21s until your contract runs out. I don't know who's going to pick up Ryan Fraser anymore. Bournemouth definitely don't want you back. They definitely don't want you back. I don't know where you can go. And it's a missed opportunity because Eddie Howe's a manager that can get the best out of great players. Well, not great players, sorry. Get the best out of shit players or okay players or average players and make them look like great players when really it's just Eddie Howe that's doing that. And you played your best football under Eddie Howe because it wasn't under Steve Bruce for that short period of time. So, I don't really get it. I don't get it, Ryan Fraser. I don't get why you fucked this opportunity. You could have been the one of the players to take Newcastle to another level, like to the next level, and then you could have got sold for like to an average team. But you decided no. Anthony Gordon has taken your place. You're not getting past Jacob Murphy, who's been probably just that player that just does his job properly. Like he's trustworthy. He's very, very trustworthy, and I'm pretty sure he's played nearly every game this season for Newcastle, whether it's off the bench or starting. You're not getting past Almiron, especially not past his purple patch he had at the start of the season. You're not getting past St. Maximin. You're not even getting past when Joel Linton and Willock swap on the left. You're not getting past that. You're not getting past any of those players. So you fucked up for yourself. It's not because of the ability, it's because of the attitude. And the attitude stinks. But yeah, at left wing, this guy can play left wing. So I'm squeezing him in there so I can talk about him. Jesse Lingard. You have had a howler as well. Now, I'm not one of the West Ham fans that said that he went for the money. And even if he did, I wouldn't care. I don't really give a shit. If it's about the money, I looked it up. And reliable sources said that he didn't actually go for as much money as people were saying. So I'll let you off. You said in the Diary of a CEO, or whatever the fuck that podcast is called, that West Ham gave you a deadline, so you signed for Forest, and because you got to the Europa League, you was expecting a bit more love. Imagine if you had signed, like, we don't have to, like, give you more time. This is the transfer window. We need to move on to other targets. So, sign a deal And imagine the welcome you would have got. You wasted our time. You wasted our time. People forget you went to United. You went to United and thought, oh yeah, they've signed Jadon Sancho. I'm going to get in the team. They've got... I don't rate Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes scores goals. Oh, I'm going to get into the team. You scored against us. That's all you did. All you did was score against us. Of course you did. And then you tried to get a move to Newcastle in January. Fair enough. But you wasted our time. You should have moved to us last summer. Like 2 years ago. And Steve Cooper didn't even care that much that Morgan Gibbs-White came in a couple weeks later, and you never saw the light of day again. You didn't even get that many starts. You got like... the last game you started was Tottenham away. That was a few months ago. And before then, I don't even remember the last start you got before then. So you have had a howler, my friend. You have had a howler. And no goals, no assists, even less than Lanzini, who even got 1 goal. And he started like 2 games. So well done, Lingard. Hope you enjoy Forest. And you're celebrating like you did something when you did fuck all. You were nowhere near the reason of why Forest stayed up. But hope you're proud, mate. Hope you're proud. And at striker, listen, when it comes to attackers this season, I could have gone for Weghorst. I don't think he's been as bad as people said, but watching him, fucking hell. Some of his link-up play is actually alright, but sometimes it's just like, you're losing the ball too much. And as a striker, I don't think you can do that. That's why you need a fit Martial rather than Weghorst at Man United anyway. I could have gone with Sancho. I really like Jadon Sancho, but I could have gone with Sancho, but nah. Lingard and Fraser made sense, in my opinion. I could have gone with Richarlison up front, but at the same time, I've got to take into account injuries. I could have gone with how bad the Danjuma move was. But up front, no Mopai. The reason why I say that, you got Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. You go to the plan B, it's no Mopai. The only thing he did was score against West Ham. A bit embarrassed to concede against him, but it's what it is. Neil Mopai, you are shocking. You must have frustrated so many Brighton fans as much as you was a shithouse and you scored big goals at the last minute. You was a big reason why Brighton didn't score that many goals. And when Calvert-Lewin's not in the team and you have to rely on you, you don't do anything as a striker. You have the odd moment. You get angry that people are criticising you. And then you do fuck all even more. So well done. You are shit. But anyway, that is the worst Premier League team of the season. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Listen, put your team in the comments below. Social media is in the description if you want to follow me, and the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.